intro as well. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel. It is match week number 20. Yes, we are halfway there to the Premier League ending. It feels like just like a while ago that it actually started again. But we have 13. Yes, unlucky for some, lucky for others. But we do have 13 fixtures this week to predict. And I'm delighted to say that once again, I've been joined by a fantastic guest. He was my guest for the Manchester City versus Liverpool Carabao Cup preview. I'm delighted to get him on for a prediction stream. It's Mr. Bernard Deneen. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm wonderful. I'm not as nice to look at as Maisie, but I'm. Thanks for having me on, and I hope the guys don't start turning off in the droves now.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you as well, and I really do appreciate it as well. Yes, we had Maisie on for the festive fixture bonanza. I will actually say now that I actually did beat her 3 weeks in a row, which doesn't usually happen, but there we go. There we do go. But guys, as always, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and also go over and subscribe to Bernard's channel. He is a City fan, but he does lots of content. He does City previews, lots of City content. But he also
a lot of history stuff. So, a lot of my history stuff includes other teams as well. So if you put into my YouTube, say Arsenal or Liverpool or whatever, stuff will come up on the history side as well, which is just as relevant to a lot of opposing fans as well.
Absolutely, and yeah, if you're a film or TV buff, go over and check his channel out as well. But as I do say, we do have 13 games to get our teeth into as well. Just say hello to a few people because Luca is in. Hello, Luca. John says hi, Douglas and Bernard, and Jordan Hyman LFC is also in, saying good evening as well. Right, first game, and it is Thursday evening, Fulham against Chelsea, a London derby. Fulham have had a very good season. They are currently sitting 7th behind Liverpool at the moment. Chelsea, well, let's just say they have not had a good season so far. And yeah, they think that João Felix is the man to get their goals and basically remove all their problems. I mean, Bernard, you were at Manchester City, Chelsea at the weekend. Chelsea are a shadow of themselves at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, of course they've got lots of problems, they've got lots of injuries, of course they have. But, the fans there at weekend were obviously shouting for Tuchel and things like this. It was pretty sad. He's only been there, 4 months, has he, Potter?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a bit Brian Potter as opposed to Harry Potter at the moment for Graham. But, he is struggling, but it's no wonder. It is no wonder. He says he's lost some key players, and he has got a big squad, of course. He has. We're not going to feel sorry for him like you don't. You don't feel sorry for teams like Chelsea and City, etc., because we do. We've got big squads, but they do seem to be throwing a lot of money at stuff at the moment, and it's obviously not helping. I don't think he's helping Mr. Potter to get these new players, and I think he needs to sort of, even with all the injuries, decide on a more or less settled team. He's not really doing that at the moment, and he's struggling. He's getting a lot of earache from the fans, and no doubt he's getting a little bit of pressure from upstairs. We know them guys are not too all right. They might not be as bad as the old Russian guy, but they certainly don't take prisoners. That's for sure.
No, certainly not. But if you're a Fulham supporter, you must be enjoying the Premier League 7th right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing excellent. I think Mitrovic is still suspended, isn't he, for this one?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go back to 2006 for the last time Fulham actually beat Chelsea at the home ground. They have played a few times in between. So, yeah, interesting game. It's certainly not... Chelsea needs to get top 6 at least. And at this point in time, I personally don't think they can do it, but there's plenty. It's still 20 games left or so. I mean, it's still very early days. Of course it is, but they're going to have to start getting some points.
I agree. What are you going to go for this one?
Well, honestly, I'm going to go for a draw. I mean, I think this could be a 1-1. Chelsea don't usually score more than 1 goal anyway, so I'll go for a 1-1 draw. I think there'll be enough for Chelsea, and a bit of pride is at stake. It's a local derby. I think it'll end up as a draw. 1-1.
I'm actually that stat you said about Fulham not beating Chelsea since 2006 at Craven Cottage actually just makes me think. I think Fulham are in better form than Chelsea. I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 win to Fulham. I think Fulham will beat Chelsea and pile the more pressure onto Mr. Potter, of course.
Yeah, I don't particularly disagree with you. I just think Chelsea might actually start to pick up a little bit now, but I'm just plucking out of the area. I've no information as to why they should, but it's just obviously I'm no Chelsea fan by any means, but they've got to start picking up some points very soon.
Yeah, Lucas says 2-1 Chelsea. Shane O'Donnell's going for a 3-1 win to Fulham. I think Chelsea will win because they'll be excited for Felix coming. I am absolutely lost for words why they're going for Felix. I really am. Nippon, Chelsea supporter, says Fulham 2, Chelsea 1. Not confident at all. I personally think Chelsea won't get him in the summer. No, it's 11 million for a 6-month loan deal. No option to buy. He's just extended his deal with Atletico Madrid because apparently Diego Simeone is leaving at the end of the season. So make of that what you will. Evening, Niall. Reece Gaming Channel's gone 2-1 to Fulham as well. Thoughts on Mudryk going Arsenal for... Yes, 100 million euros. Just reminds me of Liverpool signing Darwin Núñez for that amount of money. Liz going for 1-0 Fulham. Anthony Herbert going for 2-0 Chelsea. You need a good few signings, Luca. You touched on it last night with Stephen. Yeah, absolutely. So that will make it to Thursday's game. And we actually have a Friday night game as well. Aston Villa against Leeds United. Leeds United were 2-0 down against Cardiff. Got it back to 2-2. Aston Villa got knocked out of the FA Cup by Stevenage. First of all, what have you made of Aston Villa this season? I mean, obviously they have changed manager recently under Unai Emery.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of undone all his good work in one foul swoop, hasn't he, in the space of about 3 or 4 minutes against Stevenage. It wasn't great. Obviously, I think they played a slightly weaker team than they perhaps would do normally, as most Premier teams did. I think Leeds when they played, we'll talk about them in a second, but I think they played a reasonably strong team, actually, at their place. But Villa, yeah, I mean, people are still making them favourites to win this against Leeds. I'm a bit worried that Leeds have become a little bit more dogmatic under Marsh. I don't think he's playing a bit more cagily now than he has been recently. I think they can frustrate Villa in this one, and I think Villa definitely need the win to get the fans back on side after the Stevenage debacle. But early days for Mr. Emery. I'm sure he'll pull it round and they'll start they're 11th at the moment, aren't they? So yeah, I mean, I can't see him progressing top 6 or anything like that. But they should certainly be safe enough not to be looking over the shoulders. Yeah,
and as you said, Leeds, they're dogmatic, but the thing is, they are very, very unpredictable. I mean, going 2-0 down against Cardiff, yes, I know they got it back to 2-2. They're a weird side to play against, Leeds, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's as though it's just under one of those teams that depend. They go up and down depending who they're playing against. We all know last season, obviously under the other guy, defensively they were a shambles. But at least Marsh has sorted a bit of that out, and they're very physical, of course. Yeah. So that never does them any harm. But again, this is going to be a tight one again. I don't see much between these two at all again on the day.
Yeah, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to be boring. Go for another 1-1 draw with this one.
1-1. I actually think there will be goals in this one. I'm going 2-2. I think it will be a draw. Funnily enough, last season was a 3-3 draw between Aston Villa and Leeds. So there are goals between these two. There certainly are goals between these two. Definitely. But yes, Stevenage. Congratulations to Stevenage. I think it's amazing for them to get through against Aston Villa. Now they're right to Stoke, so they will fancy their chances there. Niall says 2-2, same as me. Have you been looking at my predictions, Mr. Kane? I wonder. Lucas says 2-1 to Villa. Anthony's gone 2-2. Funnily enough, 2-2 seems to be the most popular scoreline because Reece Gaming Channel's gone 2-2 as well. Liz has gone 1-1. Travis McGill's gone 1-1. Shane O'Donnell's gone 2-1 Villa. Yeah, a lot of people are going for draws in this one. A lot of people are going for draws. But the next game, we know what the next game is. It is the Manchester Derby. Ooh. United versus City, Old Trafford. Let's talk about the last game between the sides. 6-3. Now, I know you were at this game, Bernard, because obviously I know you do go to all the home games. This was a weird game because if it's safe to say City definitely took their foot off the gas, it would have to be said.
Yeah, I mean, going into the game, I think we were hugely confident, even though United had a good record at our place over the last few seasons and vice versa. We've been doing really well at Old Trafford. They've been really doing well at our place. So we sort of swapped roles. And I think if you look at it was the statistics, obviously it was the away team that were winning all the games in the derby matches. And we were supremely confident. And to be honest with you, we took, I think it was 75 minutes, I think it was 6-1. And we just made changes and we just allowed them to make it look a little bit respectable. But really, most City fans wanted that to end up as an 8-9-1, something like that. It could quite easily have done because at that point in time, at that point in the season, City were firing. Now, obviously, we're going to come to this one. I probably won't say the same thing at the moment because don't forget they had the old Ronaldo circus freak show going on. Now they've got that. Now they've got that behind them. I think they're looking at a far better outfit, and of course they're only 4 points behind City at the moment. So, win this, they're a point behind, and you will be seeing lots of United fans definitely talking about a title challenge on that basis if they win this. So it's a massive game for both clubs, I think.
Yeah. This was also a game, there was a double hat-trick. Have you ever seen a double hat-trick in a game before?
I've seen a treble hat-trick, mate, so there you go.
Treble hat-trick?
Manchester City 10, Huddersfield 1 back in the 80s. So, yes, I've seen a treble hat-trick.
Wow. There we go.
But hey, for you guys who said we've got no history, there's a little bit of history for you. And I was there on a cold, miserable day. I think it was about 22,000 there or something like that, and it was a horrible day. And a triple. It was 1-10-1 a triple, and the guy who scored the Huddersfield goal was an ex-City player as well, so that was quite good.
Wow, that is amazing. How are you feeling going into this? Because I think it has to be said that yes, I know you lost to Brentford before the World Cup, but ever since then, your form has really picked up again.
Well, not really, not in the league. If you think about that pathetic performance against Everton, I mean, anyone could beat Everton.
That's true, yeah.
We couldn't. And then the first half against Chelsea in the league match, not the FA Cup match, we were absolutely abysmal. Pep blamed the fans, said he picked a team that we wanted, and then played Cancelo as a right winger. So, all right, Pep, he put the blame somewhere. It sounded very odd, that. But, so in the league, apart from that Chelsea 4-0 win, when we come back from the World Cup, we beat Leeds away. That was a reasonable result. But at the moment, the trouble is Pep doesn't really know his best 11, I don't think, at the moment. He's going to put an 11 out, of course he is, but he's putting all sorts of, throwing all sorts of wobblers and making all sorts of changes. Is Walker good? I mean, for me, Walker should start this, but I would not be surprised if Rico Lewis ends up starting this Derby game. So, yeah, I'm certainly not as confident. I think we will win. I'll give you. I think we will beat them. I mean, the last 10 games at Old Trafford, we've won 6, drawn 2, and lost 2. So the stats are good. But I think if United get the noses in front, I think if they take the chances, they will get chances in this game because City play to allow United to get chances. And if we don't take ours and they manage to grab a goal or two, it could be very, very difficult for City.
Yeah, I'll give you my prediction for this one. I think City will be too strong for United. I do think United will get a goal, but Foden, Holland, Alvarez, Mahrez, I just think you will way too much for them. I've gone 3-1 City. I think it'll be a comfortable afternoon for you guys.
Yeah, I've gone 2-1. I've gone 2-1 City.
2-1.
Yeah.
2-1. Yeah, we were just speaking off air as well. Like, I did actually ask you if you were going to this game, but I would imagine you'll find a nice wee game TV channel to watch it on.
Oh yeah, definitely. I always do, and it's one of those games I just don't want people around me. If I'm not there, I'm not a very good. If I'm not at the grounds, I'm not very good at watching people in company. With people chatting. I just like to be focused. So I won't be going around to my lads or anything like that. I'll just be sat here stressing out for 90 odd minutes, however long it lasts.
Yeah, definitely. But no, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting derby as well. But I do think you will come out on top. Niall, Man United fan, he says 3-2 United. Lucas says 1-1. Travis McGill's gone 2-1 City. Liz Golden has gone 4-2 Manchester City. Like and share the stream, please. Yes, absolutely. As Liz says, Just Hannah's in. Hello. Shane has said, I hear Steven Gerrard has been linked with a Poland job. Wow. Interesting.
What has built as on a building site there? Is that what he's been linked with?
I don't know. I know that Poland got rid of their manager after the World Cup, but that would be quite a weird move. Nippon, the game's at Old Trafford. The game is at Old Trafford. Nippon's gone 4-2 Manchester United. It won't be 4-2. I don't think it will be. Shane's gone 2-1 Man City. Pep, blame the fans. That's just mad, says Just Hannah. Hope City smash United. Don't care about modern rivalries, to be honest. Well, look, I think this is one of those games where I think with the derbies, we obviously don't want United to get closer towards the top 4. So obviously City win would do us the world of good, I think. 1-1 United are strong, very on form, very strong at home. Yes, they are. But when they come up against City, that'll be a different matter. 3-1 Man City, says Anthony. Right, next game. I am not looking forward to this game at all. Brighton against Liverpool. Oh, yes. Let's talk about how Brighton have done 5-1 against Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. Last week, it was a very, very good win. Liverpool, erratic, out of form. I mean, the Brentford game was disastrous to say the very, very least, but this is probably the worst time to be going to the Amex because Brighton are on form. However, Brighton have never beaten Liverpool at the Amex. So there's always time for a first time.
Well, you have to go back to 1984, an FA Cup game, the last time Brighton beat Liverpool at home.
There you go. I mean, you were obviously at the Etihad when Man City beat Liverpool 3-2. It was in the end. I mean, we both said it was going to be a classic, definitely. But what have you made of Liverpool recently? Are you surprised at how bad they have been?
It's odd, isn't it? I mean, obviously, old Mr. Van Dijk's out, isn't he, at the moment? That's a problem. I think Trossard is struggling for Brighton, is he? I think Trossard is a doubt for Brighton. I like Trossard. He's one of their better players. But it's just the inconsistencies, mate. It's just
Yeah.
I always expect Liverpool to win and stuff like that Brentford game. I mean, it's just a total shock to me. Obviously, you'll be there watching it 90 minutes all the time, but I can't fathom particularly. Obviously, the Nunez thing, that goal he scored in the FA Cup against Wolves. A nice shin job, wasn't it? I noticed he didn't hit it with his boot. I noticed, so I did laugh when the guy said a superb finish. I think it more hit his shin rather than his boot. But
yeah,
I remember a Wayne Rooney, one of them at Old Trafford many years ago, that he shinned into the top corner. But yeah, I just can't understand it, mate. You probably tell me better. But I thought against City in that Carabao Cup game, I thought at 2-2 it was fine, and then once City went 3-2 ahead, Liverpool never really upped it. They just accepted defeat. And if they're going to do that, then it doesn't bode very well if they're going to down tools at certain stages of games. So it must be a worry for you.
Yeah, it's not a great. It's not. Look, the Brentford game was just disastrous. Just Brentford deserved to win. I mean, the one thing you don't do when you've had the disallowed goal given obviously for you, is then to basically give the ball away 30 seconds later, and then they basically go up the other end and then score. That's what happened against Brentford. Wolves. I mean, we should not be in the FA Cup right now. Wolves should be in the next round.
Yeah, I can't understand those. I can't understand the Salah goal standing. I can't understand the logic of that. And as I said, that VAR thing at the end, I have no idea what. I mean, this Anfield Road, and you want to buy a couple of big screens. Get a couple of big screens in the ground so you can see what's going on. Never mind expanding your fans. Get a couple of screens so the ones that are there can at least see what's going on sometimes. That's what you need to do. But it is a shambles. And it's the same at Old Trafford. They don't have any big screens, do they? They're exactly the same there in that dump of a ground. Let's be honest about it. It's just a large toilet at the moment, that ground. They need to knock it down and start again. But it's very that Wolves game. I only saw the highlights, but I have no idea what was going on there. No idea at all.
I have no idea either. Brighton. I mean, one thing was lots of people thought, Brighton are obviously going to lose Graham Potter. Roberto De Zerbi has just came in and literally has just left off where Graham Potter left for Chelsea.
Well, if it's not broke, why try and fix it? I mean, that's what he's done. He's picked up. There's a lot of what Brighton was doing under Potter was excellent stuff. I mean, he even made Cucurella look good, which was quite an accomplishment based on what we've seen. So, I mean, why worry about it? Just go with. He's obviously watched them under Potter. He knows the players, and he's carried on regardless. And all credit to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I never usually back against my team, but I think we'll lose here. I actually think we'll lose. I'm going 2-1 Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going 2-1 Liverpool. As I say, a bit like Chelsea. I just think I can't see Brighton with that sort. The stats are against them as well. I'm a big stats fan. I don't even know. I like the stats side of the stuff. And yes, Brighton will give it a go, but I just think Liverpool will beat. I think Liverpool will again, like Chelsea. They're going to have to start picking up some more points and some more wins. And why not start at Brighton?
Yeah, definitely. Niall's gone 2-1 Brighton. Travis McGill's gone 2-2. Just Hannah says I can't see Liverpool winning this one. Yeah, I'm the same, to be honest with you. One woman says Anthony, Brighton 3, Liverpool 2. Sorry, Douglas says Nippon. Brighton 4, Liverpool 1. Is Liverpool fan not looking forward to it? I hope I am wrong. We could get in the cup if we win the replay. Yeah, exactly. But got potentially 2 back-to-back trips against Brighton potentially coming up. Brighton 1, Liverpool 3, says Reese Gaming Channel. Oh, here's a question. Question for both of you. Which goal did your team concede made you sit back and say, fair play, no goalkeeper in the world was saving that?
Peter Crouch, Stoke City against Manchester City, a 1-0 win for Stoke. I can't remember the year, but Peter Crouch, he wellied it from about 30 yards at an angle.
Was that the one he took on his chip? That was when he was back to goal, took on his chest. Yeah, I know the one you know. For me, it's Gareth Bale in the Champions League. Just the overhead kick, it was just sensational. And I was like, yeah, you've got to applaud it. If Klopp doesn't do something different, Brighton could run up the score. The next game, I am going to predict this is probably going to finish last on match of the day on Saturday. Everton Southampton. Oh, dearie me. Well, Everton, Bernard.
What
Lampard.
Can you say? Well, he's not done yet. He's odds on with the bookies to go. He's hanging on in there. And let's face it, if they don't get anything against bottom of the table Southampton, it's surely they got someone lined up, because he's not. I never rated Lampard particularly as a manager. As a player, yeah, terrific. But he did nothing really as a manager to actually make someone like Everton come in for him and get rid of someone else, perhaps a better manager to bring him in. I don't understand it. And they've been playing with relegation how many years now, Everton? They spent the money a couple of years ago, didn't they? 2 or 3 seasons ago, wasted it badly. And I say, I've still they took a point off us at the Etihad. I still to this day don't understand how that happened. Bit of luck, obviously. You always going to need a bit of luck, but the pity they don't show some of that fighting spirit sometimes. But if they don't do anything against Southampton, I can't see that. Lampard's got to be on his way.
Yeah, we were actually talking, me and Bernard, actually before we came on air. Could this be the season Southampton go down?
You could. Both these could. I mean, it's a bit early to talk about 6 pointers, isn't it? But both these teams. All right, you always think Everton are going to sneak out of it, and if they do make a change of a manager and get a respected manager in who'd want the job, I'm not too sure, but get someone with a track record in rather than Lampard, who didn't have any sort of track record whatsoever. A big mistake. And Southampton have just seemed to, as we talked off air, Nathan Jones is sort of telling the fans, be prepared for Championship football. And that's how low he's setting his sights. So anything is a bonus, really, isn't it? But yeah, on the basis of that, still a long way to go. But you've got to think Southampton, this is their year when they're definitely going to go down.
Yeah, well, obviously I have said that this game is likely to finish last on match of the day. My prediction is Everton 0, Southampton 0. I've gone for the first 0-0 of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go back to 1997, so it's not too long ago. The last time Southampton won at Goodison, so it is 25 years ago, so it is a long time. And again, in the same way for Liverpool, perhaps slightly with Chelsea getting a draw and Liverpool getting a win, I'm going for a 2-1 Everton win. I think Everton can't get much worse, and I think they're desperate. They need that dogs of war attitude they used to have years ago. I'm going for a 2-1, even though everything says they probably won't. I'll go for a 2-1 Everton win. I think Southampton are that poor that even Everton can beat them.
Yeah, you could well be right. Just Hannah says that Bale overhead kick was unreal. Yep. Indian Scouser, hello, big up Douglas Bro, smash the likes people. Yes, absolutely. Niall's gone 0-0. Anthony's gone 2-1 Southampton. Interesting. Everton are going down. Maybe. Nippin's gone 0-0. Travis McGill's gone 0-0. Reece Gaming Channel's gone 1-0 Southampton. Frank Lampard should just go back into punditry. Shane O'Donnell's gone 1-1 for Everton Southampton. Sean Dice to Everton, potentially. Can you see Man United getting the deal over the line for Chris Wood? They're already calling him CW. Anthony, Chris Wood is not going to Manchester United. Wout Weghorst is going to Manchester United. How? I have no idea. Who's conceding more goals? Yeah, that's the thing, Reese. That is the thing. I think at the moment you probably say Everton, because Everton lost 4-1 to Brighton. I know Southampton lost to Nottingham Forest, but Southampton getting through against Palace, which was very, very good. But yeah, let's just say this will not be a classic. Let me just say that one. Anyway, the next game, well, we should probably call this the weekend the Derbies, because we've got an East Midlands Derby now. Nottingham Forest against Leicester City. Oh, and poor old Nottingham Forest, 4-1 defeat to Blackpool of all teams. Leicester scraped past Gillingham as well. But ever since the World Cup ended, Leicester City's form has been very poor. And Nottingham Forest did actually beat Southampton the last time as well. Now, last time Nottingham Forest played Leicester at the King Power, they lost 4-0. But the last time they played at the City Ground, it was a 4-1 win in the FA Cup. This is a tricky one, Bernard. Do you think Leicester City are going to get dragged into a relegation battle?
Again, Brendan Rodgers seems to have that little bit about him. I mean, obviously the injuries are piled up again, though, aren't they? I mean, they've suffered injuries. I think they picked up another one or two recently. So they are struggling. We always think Brendan Rodgers will get them out of it. If I tell you 5 of the last 10 games have ended in draws between these two, you probably know where I'm leaning towards, and some people might be leaning towards with this one. There's nothing in between them on points, is it? They're both on the same points, obviously. Leicester played a couple of games less, but I can't. Forest like the comforts of home, but I can't see past a draw again with this. Another boring draw. I'll say another. I don't want to go 0-0 because I think they're both capable of scoring. So I will go 1-1 again for this one. I can't see beyond that. Forest have got a wealth of I won't say talent. They've got a wealth of numbers in the squad, but it's working against them, and it's working against the manager. He's got far too many there. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. But I say Brendan Rodgers is perhaps too canny. And once he gets some key players back, I think they'll move up that table. But I can't see anything but a draw for this one.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I have actually gone for a 1-1 draw as well, because I'm just thinking that this is one of those games where anything can happen as well. We all know form goes out the window for derby matches, but Nottingham Forest, Leicester City on the same amount of points. I've gone 1-1 as well. I think that's the most popular scoreline actually. As well. Well, maybe not. Reece Gaming-Chan's gone 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. Travis McGill's gone 1-1. And Nippon's gone 3-2 to Nottingham Forest. Interesting. You see goals in this one. Chester Leicester says Leicester City 12, Forest. I hope anyway. Yeah. Well, we'll need to wait and see. We need to wait and see for that one. Another tricky one to call. Wolves against West Ham. I mean,
another 6 points at this stage of the season. Yeah.
Oh, I know indeed. Oops, it is. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, this is one of those games where new manager bounce could be crucial for obviously Lopetegui. David Moyes is still under pressure at West Ham. They managed to get through against Brentford in the FA Cup as well. But
yeah, I mean, after losing at home to them, they beat them away. That's typical. That's just West Ham. That's just how their season's going all over.
Yeah. Are you surprised how bad West Ham have been recently?
Well, again, I think they've got a lot of injury problems again, haven't they? They've got question marks over other players as well now. I think Zuma, Kufel, Skamaka and Areola have all picked up little bits and pieces where they might be okay, but it's nip and tuck. So, not really, because I don't think West Ham have, they had that sort of purple patch, didn't they? Was it... Certainly for 2 or 3 seasons where at certain stages of the season they were doing very, very well, and you just saw it. I could see them running out of steam at some stage. Because West Ham, again, although I don't think they will get relegated, it's just one of those teams you expect to sort of bounce, eventually at some stage, even despite all the money, despite the massive ground they've got now, the guys aren't spending the money very wisely, and they could get dragged into a relegation battle. But so it doesn't surprise me. Wolves doesn't surprise me. They're in the same sort of boat. They apparently got no midfielders. That's the excuse they got at the moment. They've got a raft of injuries. But again, Wolves, with the new manager, as you said, I can't see them staying. I think the 19th at the moment, aren't they? Next to
19th, yeah.
Again, I mean, it's an interesting one. I mean, you have to go back 11 meetings for the last draw between these two. But the bookies can't split them. I can't split them. I can see this being a 2-2.
2-2. I've got 1-1. Again, I just can't. I just don't think these two can be separated. In all honesty, there's more Leicester fans that have just appeared in the chat. Nate's gone 13-0 Leicester. Shane O'Donnell's gone 1-0 Forest.
Have you got the scorers, Nate? Give us the scorers. I'll put a bet on tomorrow.
I think Leicester will score, says Chester Leicester. Reese Gaming Channel has gone, honestly, Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Travis McGill has gone 1-1. And Shane O'Donnell has gone 1-1 as well. Now we've got a 5:30 game on Saturday. Might not be the most exciting game, but it's Brentford against Bournemouth. Yeah, will Mr. Ivan Toney be back, Bernard? What do you think?
Possible. I mean, they are hinting that he will be, and they certainly want him back, don't they? That's for sure.
Definitely. Bournemouth.
They've gone to pot. They've gone to pot since the World Cup, haven't they, Bournemouth? I mean,
they have.
I know Burnley are a good team. They're a good footballing team, and there's no shame getting beat at home by Vincent Kompany's Burnley at the moment. They're doing very, very well. But Bournemouth for another one. They're in 16th now, aren't they? I think they're 16th in the table. Brentford are very comfortable as they were. You know, they have been. They've done very, very well, Brentford. And of course, as that inconsistency shown up against West Ham, of course, beating them at their place and then losing at home. And Brentford's home form, if we look at stats again against Bournemouth, isn't great in all competitions. It's not fantastic.
Oh.
But, you've got to fancy Brentford, you know, over the different years, the Auto Windscreen Cups and Papa John's trophies and all this sort of thing. If you look at all the years going back, but I can't see anything than a Brentford winning this. I can't see Bournemouth getting anything there, and I'm going for a 2-0 Brentford win for this one.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as you. I think Brentford will win this comfortably. Are you sort of now looking at potentially Bournemouth potentially going down, like the good managerial bounce with Gary O'Neill sort of gone a little bit astray, hasn't it?
Yeah, when you think about teams that are below them, and I said at least a couple of those, 2 or 3 of those are capable of getting out of that position. Bournemouth could end up being sort of dragged down and have a struggle to get back out of it. So they are perhaps one of 3 or 4. Certainly, I'd imagine they're going to be bottom 5. So whether they're good enough to find 3 worse than them, I'd probably not if the other teams start picking points up.
Yeah, I agree. Reese Gaming Channel's gone 2-0 Brentford. Travis McGill's gone 1-0 Brentford. Luke has gone 1-0 Brentford. And Shane O'Donnell's gone 3-0 Brentford. Wow. No one sees a Bournemouth win, even though they've got a very poor record at home against Bournemouth. So
it's a shame. I mean, Bournemouth have played some nice stuff over since he came back up. It's a great shame, but a club that size, it's just inevitable at some stage. You know, I know it's horrible to say that they're going to end up back in the Championship and perhaps worse. And as I say, I think the ground, was it 10,000, the capacity of the ground? They're never going to be able to compete. They're never going to be able to compete financially to stay in the Premier League. And there'll be better teams coming up with bigger capacities, bigger potential money-wise. So it's a shame, but it is a fact of life.
Yeah, absolutely. This next game is another tough one to call. Chelsea against Crystal Palace. Now, Chelsea fans, I actually saw a tweet the other day. Since Potter's taken over at Chelsea, they've only won 2 out of 8 games at Stamford Bridge. Now, Stamford Bridge used to be a bit of a fortress. Not anymore. Crystal Palace, not in great form at the moment.
They got stuffed, didn't they? In the last league game, they got, was it Tottenham?
Yeah, Tottenham. Yeah, but Vieira has got a good record against sort of the top, the so-called top 6 teams. But you'd imagine Chelsea should be favourites for this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, they've been the last 6 visits to the Bridge. Palace, the last 6 visits they've made, they've lost every single one. So again, as I say, it depends how Chelsea come out of the. They got another game. Yeah, the Fulham game. If they come out of the Fulham game in good fettle and they do get a at least a draw or a victory. I think if they lose to Fulham, I think the extra pressure might give Palace that chance. But if they come out of that Fulham game at least unbeaten, I think they should just have too much for Palace. I'm going for a 1-0 Chelsea win for this one.
I've gone 2-0 Chelsea. I have to say that at some point that they will get a win from somewhere. Anyway, Reece Gaming Channel's gone 1-1 for Chelsea Palace. Travis McGill's gone 2-1 Chelsea. And then Shane O'Donnell's gone Chelsea 0, Palace 2. Potter's last game, maybe. I don't think they get rid of Potter yet. I think you have to give him at least one transfer window to see what he can do. But it's already looking like it's not the right appointment. I actually had a feeling that Potter might. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if anyone's seen my tweet, but it's kind of reminded me sort of David Moyes vibes at Man United, Roy Hodgson vibes at Liverpool. Both of them were out of their depth at both of these clubs, and I'm just wondering if
do you think Eddie Howe would have done a better job at Chelsea? I mean, they were the two managers, if you like, who were being touted, weren't they, at one stage? Howe and Potter as the two best British English managers, or whatever. I mean, do you think Eddie Howe would have made a better fist of Chelsea than Mr. Potter's doing?
I think he might have done. The funny fact is, Everton was a team that he was linked with, and they literally just said, "Nah, bye-bye. We'll just get Lampard. Yeah. Eddie Howe's a good manager. And I think probably
he's proven it. Not, everyone thought defensively he was a bit suspect, but he's tightened Newcastle up with one of the best defences in the Premier League, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. They certainly do. And I think as well that Eddie Howe would definitely do a good job, I think, at Chelsea. I think he would have done. Good evening, Luke, the True Red. Hope you're good. Luke has gone 2-1 to Chelsea. There you go. The True Red. Luke has gone 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Interesting stuff. Mr. Potter could potentially have a bit of a sticky situation. But this next game is going to be a very good one. Newcastle United against Fulham. Yeah, Newcastle getting knocked out by Sheffield Wednesday. Well done to Sheffield Wednesday. Fulham, their season just goes from strength to strength to strength. I mean, they beat Hull in the FA Cup as well. Alexander Mitrovic potentially going back to his former club as well. I mean, many people said Mitrovic couldn't do it in the Premier League, Bernard, but he's proven everyone wrong this season.
Well, they're basing it on the fact that he couldn't do it last time, could he? That was the whole thing. But obviously, what a difference a couple of years makes. He's obviously talented. I think Fulham as a team couldn't quite do it the first time, could they? And I think Mitrovic suffered accordingly. But I think they're just making a far better fist of it this time. And as such, Mitrovic is contributing his side of it as well, which is really good. And this game, if you think about it, again, it depends how Fulham come out of that Fulham-Chelsea game, of course.
Yeah.
This will be Newcastle's first game, isn't it? They haven't had a previous game to this. So their Arsenal game before Sheffield Wednesday was the last league game, and I thought they played very well defensively up there. But at home, they got to attack, and that's what they've been doing this season, and they've been doing it very successfully. So it should be a cracking game. It should be a really good game at Newcastle and Fulham. There's certainly been no parking the bus by anyone. We don't call it that now. Just call it low block, don't we? We don't call it parking the bus anymore. Call it something else. But I think it'll be. I think from a neutral's point of view, I'm going for a 3-1 Newcastle win for this one. I think we'll get back on track again at St James's. Yeah,
Newcastle for top 4 for you.
They could fade a little bit. I mean, they're drawing too many. That's the thing. I mean, there's far too many. I think they're drawn 7 or 8 games in the Premier League, which at the end of the day won't do them any good. They need to get those wins on the board. Obviously, at St James's they can do it. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, if they do finish top 4, but say 20 games to go or so, it was still interesting to see how they progress as sort of February turns to March and we get towards Easter. Let's see how they're doing then, because like Arsenal, they've done very, very well. They've sort of overperformed on what we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone 2-1 Newcastle. I think they will bounce back. Again, Luca's gone 1-1. Travis McGill's gone 2-1 to Newcastle. Shane O'Donnell's gone for a Desmond, a 2-2. True Red says, Graham Potter, stupid appointment for Chelsea. Yes, he did an incredible job at Brighton, but he's jumped ship too, like Frank Lampard and Derby when Chelsea came knocking. I think that is very, very fair. Very, very fair point. And the next one. Well, I would imagine you will have a wee eye on this one. Tottenham against Arsenal, the North London Derby. Now, you have to go back to 2014 for the last league victory for Arsenal at Tottenham. So it's been a long, long time coming. But Tottenham, as much as you can say, they are erratic, but they always have an upper hand on Arsenal when it comes to their home games. So tough one to call. I mean, any drop points for City's point of view from Arsenal would be very, very good now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, history, as you say, sort of apart from quite recent history, you always think Arsenal are going to go there and do something. What not worries me about Arsenal, I did obviously in the game against Newcastle. Arteta seemed a little bit stressed out, let's say, in the game against Newcastle. He wasn't happy with that. Of course, Tottenham. I think they've won they've won the last 3 games against Arsenal. I think they've drawn as well and stuff like that, but they've won. So they've turned the new stadium into a little bit of a lucky ground like they have against City. City haven't won there yet. I don't assume Arsenal then on that basis have either, based on the fact they've won the last 3. Nope. So yeah, I think they'll thrive on that. As I said, Arteta's. It all depends how City have gone on against United. If City do what we need to do to keep the pressure on and win that game against United, then I think that extra pressure on Arsenal might just turn it a little bit Spurs' way. But if City don't win at Old Trafford, draw or we lose, I think Arsenal, again, it's psychological. I think Arsenal will perhaps be a little bit better off and probably play a better game, and Arteta might calm down a little bit more and get more out of his players.
Yeah, I'm going for a goal fest in this game. And as I said, records are there to be broken. I just think what's going to happen, this game is going to go to and fro, and then I think Arsenal might start going to sort of a 3-1 lead, and then I think Tottenham will get one very at the end to make it a very nervy end. I'm going 3-2 to Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm going for a draw for this. I think
draw.
I'd never rely on Tottenham to do anything apart from against us when you usually turn up against us, but nobody else. But I'm going for a 2-2. I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
Should be a cracking game. It is on Super Sunday as well, right after Chelsea Palace, I think it is. Reece Gaming Channel's gone 2-1 to Arsenal. Travis McGill's gone 2-2, same as Bernard. And Shane is the first one to say Tottenham 2, Arsenal 1. Well, we will never. Harry Kane is the highest scoring player in North London derbies, as we do know that. And also, Hugo Lloris has retired from international duty with France to focus on.
He wants to retire from domestic duty, never mind international duty. I thought he had done the way he plays.
He's not a great keeper, is he? a bit erratic, I think, is the
as a sort of midfielder switch keeper in my old age. As part of the keepers union, I've never been overly impressed. He is capable of being superb, of course he is, but as far as consistency, not absolutely useless.
Yeah, absolutely. And those aren't the only games, because there is 2 rearranged games as well. Crystal Palace against Manchester United. United are in very, very good form. It pains me to say that. But if they were to come off a Derby defeat, I just think they would go to Palace is one of those grounds where I think they always seem to do well. I think the last season, I think, was the only defeat that they've had to Palace, actually. Yeah,
apart from last season, you have to go back to 1991, last time Palace beat United at Selhurst Park. So 31 years ago. And as I said, when United played Palace at Palace, I always think it's going to be United. Whatever happens with City United, I think United will go to Palace and beat them 2-0 at least.
2-0. Yeah, I have gone 2-1 in this one. I just think Palace will make it tricky for them. I genuinely do, but Palace are always one of those sides. It's a tough place to go to, and it's one of those grounds where the fans behind the goals are fantastic. I think the fans behind the goals at Selhurst are really, really good. So yeah, I do think that Palace will make it difficult. I think they will make it difficult, but I think Man United will be too strong. Shane's gone 2-0 to United. 2-1 Man United, says Travis. Did you guys give your predictions for the Carabao Cup? Yeah, there's games tonight actually. Man United Charlton. Was that going to be 3-4 4-0?
Yeah, I can't see anything different to a comfortable win for United tonight.
Yeah, I can't either. Newcastle Leicester.
That's a good one. That's an interesting one. After that shock of getting knocked out for Sheffield, I thought Newcastle might have a run in the FA Cup, but that came to a halt, didn't it, against Sheffield Wednesday? So, yeah, I mean, why not? It's a semi-final at stake. If they're not up for it, when will they be up for it? I say they've been playing very well. Perhaps Leicester still need a few extra players back to compete. I think Newcastle might win by a couple of goals, 3-1 or 2-0.
Yeah, I think so as well. What's the other games? Nottingham Forest Wolves.
Yeah, well,
that has got penalties written all over it. Actually,
yeah. I mean, that'll go to penalties. So as long as Nottingham Forest can use the 50, 60-man squad to take all the penalties, they might get through.
And obviously, you are making the trip down south. St Mary's, Southampton, and City. How are you feeling about that one?
If we don't, I must admit, after that 4-0 Chelsea game, if we play that similar team, I can't see Southampton getting anywhere near us. They've done us a couple of times recently. You know, they sort of grabbed a draw once, but we beat them in the cup last season as well at their place quite comfortably in the end. So I can't see City losing that. I imagine a 3-1 at least for City tomorrow.
Yeah, I think United, Newcastle, Forest or Wolves. Oh my goodness, that's like pulling teeth watching those two play. Sorry, Luke. I know you're in the chat, but Forest. I'm actually going to go Forest. You know that?
I'll go Forest just because of in the cup games at the City ground, they can get up for it, can't they? On that basis, I'll go for Notts Forest as well. Yeah,
and I'll go for City as well, and then we'll see what happens in the semi-final draw. It could be a very, very interesting one.
Well, City United, if we both get through, have never met in a major final. We've met in semi-finals, of course, but so the footballing gods are saying that they're not going to let it happen. It'll be a City United semi-final and the other team, Newcastle Forest, the other semi-final, something like that.
Well, we will wait and see. Hello, Rich. Rich Sports. Hello. Hope so, guys. You could be right. Newcastle lose to Wednesday was funny. Yeah, Chris Wood. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. All he had to do was basically place it. Goes for power and it goes high, wide, not very, very handsome. And then he's gone 3-2 Arsenal. Eddie hat-trick. Ooh, that's a bold shout, that one. Newcastle's lack of fixtures is a big advantage moving forward, says Charles McGill. Forest should have focused on quality rather than quantity. Yes, that is an understatement of the year, Mr. Richard. But we do have one more game to discuss, and Manchester City against Tottenham. Oh, come on, Bernard. Surely this is the season where you just get your revenge on them.
A doddle, an absolute doddle, mate. No problem. I must admit, I'm a bit surprised that City are playing Thursday night football this soon. I didn't think we'd end up at that level just as quick as this. So I thought we might go another couple of seasons of playing on a Tuesday and Wednesday night. But obviously, we're on to Thursdays now with the other load of SHIT that we sing the song about playing on the Thursday night. But last 10 games at our place in the Premier League, we've won 6, drawn 2, lost 2. Tottenham have got a bit of a bogey reputation over us, and they can. They've got the players to harm us. Son always has a cracker against us. Harry Kane usually does something pretty useful. But we've got to beat. I think we're going to beat them this time. All right, if it was at their place, I wouldn't be so cocky. But I just think we'll beat them at least 3-1 in this one. I'll be disappointed. I think they'll score. I think Kane will get a goal, but we've got to make this. Pepper's got to get something out of this. He's a bit sick and tired of this thing of Tottenham doing City. So yeah, I'm quite happy that as long as if we beat United. If we beat Southampton, we beat United, and then we go into the Spurs game, we're beating United. I don't think they'll cope with us. I think we'll be up for it. I think it'll be start of a good run. If we lose to United, who knows? It's up there in the lap of the gods. But I'll go for 3-1 against Tottenham. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I've gone exactly the same. I think that Arsenal game on the 15th of February is looking like a very, very tasty one.
Well, we'll have a cup game before then, won't we? We'll have the FA Cup match before then as well. So
of course, yeah.
We'll be able to suss each other out on the end of January, about 28th, 29th, something like that. But obviously, what sort of teams we'll put out? Well, Pep will always put a strong team out anyway. He usually does at this stage of the season. It's usually when the Champions League kicks in, he starts playing about and putting weak teams out in FA Cup semi-finals and stuff like that. But at this stage, he usually tries to put his best team out.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, guys, that is match week 20 done and dusted. As I said, leave your predictions in the comment section down below. Yeah, we'll go over what we've both said. So for me, Fulham, Chelsea, I've gone 2-1 Fulham. Burner's gone 1-1. Aston Villa, Leeds United, I've gone 2-2. Burner's gone 1-1. Man United, Man City, I've gone 3-1 City. Burner's gone 2-1 City. Brighton, Liverpool, 2-1 Brighton for me, because I've not got any confidence in my team at the moment. 2-1 Liverpool, says Bernard. I've gone 0-0 Everton, Southampton. Bernard's gone 2-1 Everton. Forest, Leicester, we've both gone for a 1-1 draw. We've both gone for draws in the Wolves, West Ham. I've gone 1-1. Bernard's gone 2-2. Brentford, Bournemouth, both gone for a 2-0 Brentford. Chelsea, I've gone 2-0 Chelsea. Bernard's gone 1-0 Chelsea. Newcastle, Everton, 2-1 Newcastle from me, 3-1 Newcastle from Bernard. I've gone 3-2 Arsenal in the North London Derby. Bernard's gone 2-2. Crystal Palace, Man United, I've gone 2-1 Man United. Bernard's gone 2-0 Man United. And Man City, Tottenham, we've both gone 3-1 to Manchester City. Bernard, it's been an absolute pleasure to get you back on the channel. And it's been great to have you on to do a prediction stream.
No, I loved it, mate. Thank you very much. And all the guys watching and typing in, thanks for their time. And thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it, mate. Thank you.
No, you're very, very welcome. And safe travels down to St. Mary's tomorrow. I was actually, if anybody hasn't seen Bernard's Saints Man City sort of preview, please go and check it out, because you never saw City win at the Dale. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just City had an awful record at the Dell. It's one of the worst away grounds. There's quite a few over history. Old Trafford used to be bad, but we're sort of catching up now there. That's not too bad nowadays. But places like Anfield is a shocker. And the Dell, we always struggled at the Dell. But of course, at St Mary's, we've done a little bit better.
Yeah, 100%. But no, safe travels down to St Mary's tomorrow, and obviously, just for the viewers as well, tell where they can find you.
Yeah, obviously it's on screen there. Everything's through that name. It's on Twitter and on YouTube as well, because I do a film thing, so I don't limit me city. I call it the Citizen channel, but it's all under @Bernard_Deneen. So if you put in your search engine Bernard Deneen, I'm the only one who comes up. There's nobody else with that name, so I just shove everything under that, and then it's dead easy to find. I pop up all over the place if you just shove that into your search engines.
Yeah, absolutely. Travis and Girl, thanks for the thoughts, guys. No problem. And just having a great show. Thank you. And the rain is battering off the window. Typical Scotland weather. But then again, typical Manchester weather as well.
It's stopped now. It's all right.
Oh, it's stopped.
It's stopped now. For 10 minutes, anyway.
Oh, there we go. There we go. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Really have appreciated everyone who's tuned in. Please go and check out Bernard's wonderful channel as well. Very, very good guy. Very good City guy as well. And yeah, his content is very, very good. And make him very, very happy as well. But as I said, safe travels down to St. Mary's tomorrow. Hope you enjoy the game. And yeah, guys, we'll see what happens in match week 20. And we'll come back next week and see how myself and Bernard have done. But for now, I will see you later and take care. And bye-bye for now.